Welcome to another episode of What Are You Reading? What Are You Writing? I'm your host, Karen E. Osborne. I am author of suspense mystery novels, Getting It Right, Tangled Lies, and Reckonings, which came out this year. And if this is your first time with us, maybe you are a fan of Kathie's and you know her or you know her books and you wanted to see this, welcome, welcome. And if this is something you pop in now and again, we're really glad to have you back. And for my loyal folk, thank you. Thank you so much. So today, my guest is Kathie Georgio. And you met her, I think it was exactly a year ago.
It's pretty close.
Don't you think? Yeah, it's just about a year ago. And if you want to, if you go to my website under blog and you just tap in her name, you can see the original interview because we're asking different questions today. So you should watch that one and watch this one. All right. So let me tell you a little bit about, either remind you or introduce you to Kathie. When she chatted with me before, her novel All Told had just come out, and she was doing work in progress. And I called her a Renaissance woman. Here's why. She's the director of All Writers Workplace and Workshop, which she's going to talk to us about today. And she's an award-winning author of novels, story collections, essay collections, and books of poetry. Now, Kathie now is back with two new books. Not one, two new books. Olivia in 575, Autism in Haiku. Look at that.
There it is.
Of course, you have all kinds of little yellow stickies sticking out of it.
That's from doing readings and presentations. That way I have the poems already picked out and I can turn right to them.
Oh, good. Would you like to read one today?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
All right. And that came out in September. And then her latest novel, Hope Always Rises, launches in March. So we have a treat today. Kathie's going to read for us. Kathie's going to tell us about her two books, and she's going to tell you about her writer's workshop. So doesn't that sound like a great 15, 20 minutes? And we're going to get it all in. So here we go. Before we dive into all the things you're doing, let's just talk a little bit about what you're reading. So what's in your to read pile?
Well, I can tell you, I have 3 books that I've read recently that all made me want to take at least a week off of work just to sit and read them. And I would love to read them again. The first one is Michelle Huneven, and the book is called Search. This was one, I love Michelle, but when I read the topic, I was like, it's about being on a search committee at a church. And I thought, well, how exciting is that? Okay. Then I got into it and I didn't know what all went on search committees at churches when they're looking for new pastors. So there was lots of drama and lots of things I didn't know and lots of searching. Loved this. Cool. Then I just finished Jennifer Weiner's The Summer Place.
Yes. Yep. I read that too. It's a wonderful book.
I was so happy. I had this with me. I was in La Crosse, Wisconsin. I was doing a book club. I was doing a reading at a bookstore and I was teaching a class. So I stayed in a hotel for a week. And literally when I was in the hotel, this was what I was doing. It was like, I have to finish reading this book. And then I was just on retreat a couple weeks ago too. And I got through Emma Straub's This Time Tomorrow, which is also fabulous. And what was really interesting, it's a time travel book. And the main character keeps traveling in time to keep her father alive. While I was reading it, Peter Straub, her dad, died. So there was some poignancy there of knowing that what she was feeling is probably what her main character was feeling in this book. So these 3 are amazing.
You. Those are one of them I read, but the other 2 are new to me. So I need to check those out. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So now one of the things you've done is you've written this very interesting poetry, book of poetry. And you need to, so not everybody knows what haiku is,
Right.
why you chose haiku,
Hmm?
what inspired it, and then give us a reading.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
All right.
The book, Olivia in 575, the 575 refers to the 3 lines of the haiku, and they have to have 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. That's the way it functions. And it was inspired by my daughter, who is on the cover. That's Olivia right there. And Olivia is on the autism spectrum. We were told when she was 3 that she would never speak to us and that she would always look at us like bumps on a log. And I'm married to a writer and I'm a writer. And to be told that your child isn't going to have words is devastating. And she was not speaking at the age of 3. But the whole time this specialist was telling me this, she was playing on the floor and she kept tapping my shoe. And whenever the specialist said something negative, she looked up at me and just beamed, like she was trying to say, it's going to be okay, Mom.
You just gave me chills.
She'll be 22 next month. She is a senior at Mount Mary University. She is a Dean's List student on a National Honor Society. She is a gifted violinist. She just finished her first novel. She's been published in poetry, and she's majoring in art therapy. And now she doesn't shut up. I mean, for somebody who didn't speak, it's da 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 da. So this book happened because April is National Poetry Month, and it's also Autism Awareness Month. So when she was about 15, 16, I decided to challenge myself to write a poem every day about her and about autism. And I decided to do it with haiku because when it comes to my daughter, I can be very effusive. I could talk about her all day long. So this allowed me to keep it in control and keep it to these little picture postcards of her throughout the entire book.
Oh my goodness, that is a beautiful story, Kathie. What an amazing, amazing. So read, let's hear one.
I can read, oh, they're tiny. I can read you a couple.
That sounds good.
All right. So the first one was called Olivia Defines Autism. My brain slipped sideways, she said when she was 7. Autism explained. Eyes opened. I had 3 babies, thought I knew it all, but then 4 showed me the truth. I thought sure after having 3 kids, I'd seen it all. Not even close. So she took me down a few notches. More than a cry. Babies cry. Chaos voice in new world's wilderness. Autistic unrest. And I want to read you one of the fun ones. Let me find it here. Oh, here we go. From the beginning. Pardon the language. Dumbass. Her first word. Not mama. Should have known then this ride would be wild.
Oh my goodness. You know, Kathie, I'm on the board of Easter Seals, Florida. And so many of our clients have autism. We have many clients with autism. And what an amazing book to give to new parents.
That's what I'm hoping.
I'm going to see if I can't be part of getting that to happen. Thank you.
Wonderful. Olivia and I are doing quite a few presentations. You know, the book launched last week. She did write the final poem in this book, so she is a part of it. And so the book launched and she read. Her college held the launch in honor of her. And then we're going to be keynote speakers at the Southeast Wisconsin Festival of Books on November 5th. We'll present the book and be interviewed on stage. So that's really what this book is about, is reaching out to parents so that they learn autism is not a death sentence. You know, the first time my daughter was called disabled, I wanted to smack the person because she is so very abled. So Yeah.
Yeah, we don't use that word in Easter seals, disabled anymore,
Good.
because the people there, everyone's extraordinary,
Right.
you know, using what they have, which is true of all of us. You know,
Right.
we all have limits and we use what we have. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Um,
going to hear a siren in a minute. I'm sorry. I live in a city, so of course we're going to get sirens going by. Sorry
it's
about
all
that.
right. It's not a problem. I can't actually hear it.
Oh,
So
good. I'm glad.
yes, it's all good. Just like I hope you don't hear my leaf blower.
No,
The lawn guys are outside thinking, oh, thank you, just what I needed right now. So you also have a novel coming out
I do.
in March. So
Yes.
tell us about that.
This book is called Hope Always Rises. It's a little bit different from what I've written before. It's still literary fiction, but it's also magical realism. It is set in heaven in a special gated community for people who have committed suicide.
Wow.
So I wanted there to be a different perspective. Usually when you hear that somebody has committed suicide, the first thing somebody says is, "Oh, that's so selfish. You know, how could they do that?" So I wanted to show firsthand what this experience is like. I also wanted to take away the perception that suicide is a terrible sin and these people will never go to heaven. You know, so God has a special place for them. They are required every week to go to group therapy, and group therapy is led by another person who killed themselves. And her first group therapy leader is Virginia Woolf. So I mean, it sounds grim, but I had so much fun in this book. And I mean, there's story chapters because every novel I do pretty much has short stories included in it because I love the short story. So there are short stories of the other people who are in her initial group therapy group. So you get glimpses of different situations which may cause a person to bottom out and take that option. So my main character's name is Hope. And so Hope Always Rises is a theme in the book. If God is really like the way I portray him, I'm looking forward to meeting him someday. So, because he's fun, he is so much fun. So it's a book with a lot of impact, but it's also a book with a lot of humor.
Wow. Oh my goodness. You've got a new fan in me. I got to tell you, I met you last year and I thought you were pretty cool. But right now I'm thinking you just rock.
Well, thank you.
So tell us, a lot of our viewers, everyone's a reader,
Right.
but among all those readers are accomplished authors, on their beginning trail authors, wish I could be an author. So tell us about your workshops, your school, your teaching.
Sure. My studio is All Writers Workplace and Workshop. It will be 18 years old in January, so we've been around for a while. We offer online and on-site courses and workshops in creative writing, all genres and all abilities. And we have people here who are literally putting down their first word, and others who already have 5, 6 books out. When I made All Writers, I wanted there to be a community that writers could go to where they were actually interacting with other writers. So not just an academic environment, but a writer environment, so that writers can sit down with people who are at their level, going through the same struggles they are, but also talk to writers who have been around for a bit and can offer their experience on how to work their way through all of the challenges we face as writers.
So
So,
are you actually teaching craft,
yes,
or so you're teaching craft, but
we have
also
how-to classes.
mhm,
And then we also have workshops where people share their work.
mhm.
And we have some that are specialized workshops. For example, I have the write a book workshop where everyone in there is either writing a novel or book length memoir or a collection. And then I have open workshops where anybody who is writing anything can come. And then I also do coaching services where I have 5 people on my faculty Your coach works with you one-on-one to get the book or the piece, whatever it is you're working on, ready to go. We offer publishing advice. We take you through the submission process. I've been involved in the publishing industry for so long that I read through the contracts and such when people get their contracts. I do push traditional publishing. I don't like self-publishing. So we've got hundreds of writers who have landed traditional contracts through All Writers. So we're a writing community.
That sounds wonderful. That sounds great. I hope it sounds wonderful to all of you out there. So, Kathie, if our audience wanted to find you, find out more about your workshops, find out more about your amazing books, or they just want to say, hey, how do they find you?
My author website is kathiegeorgio.org, Kathie, has to be IE, Georgio, Giorgio.org. And my studio's website is allwritersworkshop, one word.com. And you can see everything on there.
Excellent, excellent. I hope that you have enjoyed this conversation as much as I have, that you will follow Kathie on her various social media, wherever you find her, that you will follow me. That's so appreciated. We really like knowing and staying in touch with you. And we hope that you will return next Tuesday for What Are You Reading? What Are You Writing? Thanks, everybody.